Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. Every day, you face a silent war, not against an enemy outside you, but against the tug-of-war within you, the battle between your higher self and the tempting whisper of just this once. It's that inner dialogue that persuades you to hit snooze instead of run, to reach for the cookie instead of the kale, to scroll instead of study, to procrastinate instead of pursue. You know what you should do. But somehow, knowing isn't enough. You've probably blamed your lack of discipline. You may have labeled yourself lazy, weak, or easily distracted. But what if you were wrong? What if willpower isn't something you either have or you don't, but a skill you can train, strengthen, and grow like a muscle? Science has finally caught up with what philosophers and spiritual teachers have been hinting at for centuries. Self-control is not just a moral virtue. It's a biological, neurological, and psychological power tool built into your brain, and in the right hands, your hands, it can be sharpened to cut through cravings, excuses, and fear. This is not another book about guilt-tripping yourself into being better. This is your guide to understanding the fascinating science behind how willpower works and how to make it work for you. In these pages, you will learn how your brain's impulse control system operates, why stress sabotages your best intentions, how tiny tweaks in awareness can lead to massive behavior change, and why every act of self-control, even the smallest, is a radical act of freedom. So if you've ever said, "I wish I had more willpower," you're in the right place. Not only is it possible, you're about to learn how. Your journey doesn't start with punishment, pressure, or perfection. It starts with curiosity, compassion, and a deep understanding of the truth. You are stronger than you think, and your willpower is waiting to be unleashed. Let's begin. Part 1. The Call to Willpower. Awaken the giant within you. Chapter 1. I will, I won't, I want. The three powers of the mind. Dear reader, dear seeker of mastery, I call upon you to grasp this undeniable truth. Willpower is not merely a trait. It is a tool. It is not a luxury. It is your lifeline to greatness. In her seminal work, Dr. Kelly McGonigal speaks not to your outer world, but to the throne room of your inner self, the seat of discipline, decision, and destiny. Willpower, she reveals, is not one force but threefold. Three voices dwell within your soul, each whispering their sacred command. I will, the part of you that commits to action. It is the grit behind greatness, the inner voice that arises at dawn and declares, I will rise, I will speak, I will conquer, I won't. The guardian of resistance. This is the force that halts indulgence, that builds the dam against distraction, that says, I won't give in, I won't retreat, I won't settle for less. I want. The compass of desire, not the desire of fleeting pleasures, but the deep yearning for purpose, for higher goals, for your better self. It reminds you, I want to become, I want to grow, I want to leave a mark. In these three lies the essence of willpower, and where do they dwell? Not in your biceps or your boldness, but in your prefrontal cortex, the noble general of your brain's army. When you train this mighty commander, you train your fate. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, said Henley, but only if you learn to command your own will. Chapter 2. The Willpower Instinct, the Biological Blueprint of Greatness. Let us now turn our attention inward, not toward psychology alone, but toward physiology. You are not merely a product of your thoughts. You are a living, breathing willpower machine, the great McGonigal reveals. Willpower is rooted in biology. It is your body's own secret weapon for self-mastery, triggered not just by thought, but by awareness. Stress, that ever-hissing serpent, slithers into your nervous system and robs you of self-control. Under its spell, your brain shifts from long-term wisdom to short-term survival. You react, you relapse, you regret. But here's the victory. Calm is power, slow breathing, meditation, mindfulness. These are not luxuries of monks. They are the hammers that forge willpower in the furnace of modern life. Self-awareness is the ignition of self-control. When you pause and observe your cravings, rather than obey them, you awaken the giant within. You do not resist with clenched fists. You rise with open eyes. McGonigal warns us of the myth of willpower as depletion. Yes, willpower can tire, but it also grows stronger with training. You can stretch it, you can sculpt it, you can expand it. The same way the body builds muscle with resistance, the spirit builds willpower through temptation. And so I urge you, dear listener, do not curse your challenges. They are the very agents of your evolution. Chapter 3. The Willpower Challenge. Why we sabotage ourselves, and how to stop. Here now, we cross the threshold into the realm of paradox. Dr. McGonigal unveils a strange truth. The moment we say, I won't, temptation grows teeth because, beloved reader, the brain rebels against restriction, it craves freedom. The moment you forbid a cookie, the cookie becomes a symbol of power. The moment you avoid the task, procrastination becomes pleasure. This is the inner sabotage, what McGonigal calls willpower failure. And the solution, it lies in a shift of story. You must stop seeing willpower as punishment and start seeing it as purpose. Let go of guilt. Guilt is a liar. Guilt tells you, you failed, so why try? But science, yes, science itself says, self-forgiveness leads to more discipline, not less. Each time you slip, you are not starting over. You are starting stronger. Each mistake is a lesson in disguise, not a verdict of defeat. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. I once wrote, and here it is again, resounding in the chambers of self-control. McGonigal empowers us with tools. Mindfulness as a shield, pre-commitment as armor, future self-visualization as the sword of success. You must train your brain to recognize not just the temptation before you, but the vision within you. You must rise, again and again, with the image of who you are becoming. Part 2, Facing the Enemy Within. Temptation, Trickery, and Triumph. Chapter 4. The Brain's Big Lie. I'll feel better if. Pause now, champion, and listen with the full measure of your inner ears. Your brain lies to you. Yes, you heard me right. It whispers sweet nothings like a con artist, convincing you that the cookie will soothe your stress, that the cigarette will calm your nerves, that the delay of duty is a well-deserved break. But what does Dr. McGonigal reveal? This is not comfort. This is a false promise. It is the mind's own feel-better fallacy. And it is the assassin of self-control. You are not battling sugar or sloth or screens. You are battling the illusion that indulgence will bring relief. In this chapter, McGonigal hands us a sword of truth. The feeling we crave is not the one indulgence gives, it's the one we think it gives. And once we see through the deception, we are no longer bound by it. Key insight. When temptation strikes, don't ask, what do I want right now? Ask, what will this choice do to my future self? You must train your brain to feel good about doing. What's hard, this, my friend, is the high art of mental alchemy. You do not run from temptation. You face it, you see it, and in that moment of awareness, you take back your crown. Chapter 5. The Halo Effect. When doing good gives you permission to do bad. Brace yourself, for we now uncover one of the greatest thieves of discipline, the subtle saboteur of moral licensing. Have you ever gone to the gym, then said, I've earned this donut? Have you ever done a kind deed, only to give yourself a pass to be less kind later? This, dear listener, is the willpower loophole, the trap of believing that doing something good gives you permission to do something bad. Dr. McGonigal calls this the moral licensing effect. And make no mistake, it is one of the most cunning enemies of your higher self. It turns progress into permission and virtue into vice. But here's the antidote, and it is forged in wisdom. Do not define your choices as rewards or punishments. Define them as declarations of identity. Ask not, do I deserve this? Ask, who am I becoming? Because when you decide from identity, not indulgence, you rise into congruence. You rise into power. You rise into a life where you no longer bribe yourself to do good. You do good because it is who you are. Tell me who you walk with, and I will tell you who you are. The sages once said, I say, tell me how you act when no one is watching, and I will tell you your destiny. Chapter 6. The Power of Premature Gratification. What the hell? And the Slippery Slope. There is a moment, known to every soul who has ever struggled, when failure whispers, "You've already blown it, so why not keep going?" This is the notorious "what the hell" effect, and it is the sledgehammer that turns one mistake into many. You eat one cookie, then the box, you skip one workout, then the week, you give in once, then you spiral. But friend, hear this and let it thunder in your chest. One misstep is not a fall. It is a choice point. Dr. McGonigal opens our eyes to the illusion of all-or-nothing thinking. This is not willpower. This is ego disguised as discipline, because the ego cannot tolerate imperfection. But the warrior of willpower, they know the power of the pause. They know that success is not in perfection. It is in recovery, the practice. When you slip, don't escalate. Evaluate, stop, breathe, ask, what triggered this? What was I feeling? What can I learn? Then stand up, dust off, and resume your path with even greater fire. McGonigal says, people who forgive themselves after mistakes are more likely to try again and succeed. And I say, do not let one broken moment define your day. Let it refine your discipline. You must become a student of your own psychology. Observe your habits, journal your triggers, and declare war, not on your cravings, but on your ignorance of how they work. Part 3. The Inner Revolution. Rewriting the Scripts That Run Your Life. Chapter 7. The Power of the Future You. Who are you really living for? Let me ask you the question that stops great men and women in their tracks. Are you living for your impulses, or for your legacy? Dr. McGonigal introduces us to a stunning truth. The secret to willpower lies not in resisting the present, but in connecting with the future. Neuroscience shows something sobering. For many people, their future self is treated by their brain as a stranger, someone distant, unimportant, not worth sacrificing for. And so what happens? You overspend, you procrastinate, you indulge. Why? Because you're abandoning your future self like an orphan on the road to nowhere. When you build a bond with your future self, you unlock willpower at its highest form, not fueled by guilt or fear, but by loyalty and love. The practice. Visualize your future self. See their face, their pain, their pride. Write to them, speak to them, ask, what can I do today that honors you? McGonigal's research is clear. When you feel connected to your future self, you're more likely to act in their best interest. You don't just save money, you save dreams. You don't just go to the gym, you build the body your destiny requires. Napoleon Hill taught, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. McGonigal shows us that we must conceive of ourselves as powerful not just now, but tomorrow, and act in service of that vision. Chapter 8. The I give up reflex, guilt, shame, and the trap of self-criticism. Now listen closely, for here we confront the dark twin of discipline. Guilt. Many believe guilt is fuel for change, but the truth, guilt is quicksand. Guilt whispers, you're not enough. It shackles you to your mistake. It buries you beneath the weight of failure, and worst of all, it convinces you that trying again is futile. Dr. McGonigal shatters this lie. Her research shows that self-compassion, not self-criticism, is what rebuilds willpower. Think on that. Those who forgive themselves are more likely to stay committed. Those who beat themselves up are more likely to spiral. It's not softness, it's strategy. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. You are not your mistakes. You are the meaning you assign to those mistakes. So, I say to you, forgive yourself faster, then move forward harder. The power move. After failure, say, I'm human, I'm learning, I'm growing. Ask, what can I do right now that gets me back on track? As Hill would urge, out of every defeat comes the seed of equal or greater benefit, but only if you water that seed with compassion, not condemnation. Chapter 9. The Willpower Trap. Why we mistake desire for happiness. This chapter, this revelation, it hits like thunder and lands like truth. Have you ever wanted something so badly, and then, once you got it, felt emptier than before? That is the willpower trap. When the brain mistakes wanting for happiness, Dr. McGonigal reveals how the brain's dopamine system seduces us. You see the chocolate, you see the shoes, you see the likes on a screen, and dopamine explodes. Not because you need these things, but because you've been conditioned to crave them. But here's the truth bomb. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It fuels chasing, not satisfaction. And so you chase and never arrive. The wise learn to spot the illusion. They pause, they breathe, they ask, will this actually make me happy, or just scratch an itch that will come back tomorrow? This is not about deprivation, it's about elevation. McGonigal offers this remedy. Mindful awareness. Before you act, observe your craving, sit with it. Like a teacher, not an enemy. Let the wave rise, and then watch it fall. Cravings are not commandments, they are passing clouds, and you are the open sky. Part 4. Living the Willpower Lifestyle. Rituals, Identity, and Daily Mastery. Chapter 10. Willpower Training. Build it like a muscle. Use it like a sword. Let this be etched into your mind with fire. Willpower is not a finite gift. It is a trainable force, like a muscle. It grows when used, like a blade. It sharpens when honed. And like the soul, it strengthens when stretched. Dr. McGonigal declares what Hill would echo with thunder. That willpower is not about restriction. It's about expansion. Every small act of discipline is a vote for the future you. Every time you choose courage over comfort, truth over excuse, pause over impulse, you grow stronger. The training plan. 1. Delay gratification. Even 10 seconds of delay builds neurological stamina. 2. Focus practice, meditation, deep breathing, mindful awareness. These are push-ups for the mind. 3. Cold showers of choice. Do something uncomfortable on purpose each day, not to suffer, but to show yourself who's in charge. Napoleon Hill wrote, self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. And McGonigal shows us that controlling what you do changes what you think. It is a loop, a beautiful, upward spiral of growth. Chapter 11. Pre-commitment. Outsmarting your future self. Now, we arrive at one of the most strategic weapons in the war for self-control. Don't rely on your future self to make the right choice. Trap them into making it. Pre-commitment is the ultimate mind hack. If you don't trust your future self to wake up and run, sleep in your running shoes. If you don't trust your wallet, freeze your credit card in a block of ice. If social media hijacks your time, delete the app, remove the option. You don't wait to be strong later, you design your environment now, because in the heat of the moment, even champions can crumble, but a prepared environment cannot. This is Hill's definiteness of purpose in action. Knowing your goals so clearly, you construct your life around it. McGonigal science says, when you pre-commit, you reduce mental fatigue, reduce temptation, and increase follow-through because you've already made the hard choice once. Success requires no explanations, failure permits no alibis, and pre-commitment removes both. There are no excuses when you've already paved the road. Chapter 12. The Willpower Contagion. Who you surround yourself with shapes your destiny. This may be the single most overlooked law of willpower. Self-control is contagious. You rise or fall with your crowd. McGonigal drops a truth bomb backed by research. If your friend overeats, your chances rise. If your spouse quits smoking, yours skyrocket. If your peers waste time, your willpower withers. You don't just inherit traits, you inherit habits. You must ask yourself now, who are you becoming around the people you spend time with? Hill warned us. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, but only if you choose your crew wisely. This is not just about behavior. This is about identity. You must seek out others who live by discipline, speak of purpose, move with energy, not perfection but progress, and in doing so, you will become the person others model themselves after. The final charge. Conclusion. The willpower instinct. You have marched through the science. You have faced the enemy within. You have learned that willpower is not just a trait you're born with. It is a skill, a discipline, a calling, and now you know the truth. The greatest battle you will ever fight is the battle to govern yourself. Not the market, not your competitors, not the critics, yourself. For what good is genius if it bows to procrastination? What power has ambition if it is drowned in indulgence? Discipline is not denial. Discipline is direction. It is the bridge between intention and impact, between wishful thinking and willed reality. You have learned that your brain is not broken. It is wired for survival, not success. that your urges are not commands, they are simply signals to master, that guilt is not your guide, self-compassion is your greatest recovery tool, that your future self is counting on you to show up today, not with perfection, but with purpose. And you now possess the strategies. Train the willpower muscle, pre-commit like a tactician, surround yourself with greatness, track your choices, own your identity, honor your mission, let the world distract. You focus, let others react. You respond, let your past whisper weakness. You roar with possibility, because here is what Napoleon Hill would thunder into your bones. The man who masters himself can master anything. That is your crown, that is your kingdom. Not control of the world, but control of the one thing that determines your destiny, your decisions. This is your willpower instinct. Not to resist life, but to rise through it. Not to fight who you are, but to forge who you choose to become. Let your cravings come. Let discomfort knock. Let resistance shout. You are stronger because now you don't merely hope to do better. You expect it. You train for it. You choose it. You no longer chase change. You embody it. Now go and live with fire. Live with focus and leave the legacy of a disciplined mind and an unstoppable spirit. This is not the end. This is your true beginning. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries.